Welcome back to the Better Learning Podcast. I am one of your hosts today, Matt Rogers. There's a couple other voices you'll hear from today hosting the podcast, some old, some new. But today we're coming to you from the floor of EDspaces 2025 here in my backyard, Columbus, Ohio. EDspaces, if you don't know, is where education leaders, architects, designers, and change makers can come together to explore the future of learning environments. And this year, we brought the conversation directly to you. Over the next series of episodes, you'll hear quick, powerful conversations with innovators from across the country. We asked each guest one simple question: what does radically student-centered mean to you? Their answers are thoughtful, surprising, and truly inspiring. We hope that these inspire you, and let's dive in. So I'll just have you introduce yourself, your name, who you're with, and then a fun fact about you.
Hi, I'm Samantha Blum. I work at FGM Architects. I'm a senior interior designer there. I've been there for 5 years. Previously, I was working in healthcare design. Fun fact, I was a Next Gen Award recipient last night, which is really special because I am kind of new to the education market and it was a little intimidating at first. So it's cool to see the synergies that happen between healthcare and education, and really that it's people focused, and what that people focused and experiential design is. It's really like spaces and how they affect people and how it can improve learning and mental well-being, really.
Yeah. And congrats on being a Next Gen winner. I don't know if you know this, but I was one of the winners. That would have been 2023.
Yeah, well,
So
I love a good
I
alumni.
know, yeah, yeah. So how was the event last night? Just
It
briefly,
was
how
really
was
cool.
that?
So they had this thing called a progressive dinner, which I have
Oh, that's new. That's
been a part of.
yeah.
So it was essentially speed dating for networking,
Okay.
where like the first course you sit with about 8 people, and then the entree you sit with 8 people, and then dessert you sit with 8 people.
Oh, nice,
Yeah,
nice.
so it was kind of like if you didn't like your table, you
Yeah, you could get up, move around. Yeah, you didn't have to be. Yeah,
stuck
yeah,
there for the
yeah,
whole
yeah.
meal.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. Well, awesome. Well, congrats. Well, because of that, you're going to be a big voice in helping us define what radically student-centered means. So that's going to be the first question I ask you is, how would you define radically student-centered in your own terms, in your own work? And really, I guess, maybe kind of how you came from healthcare into the education industry with your firm.
I came into FGM Architects. I'm specializing in education right now. What I really like about FGM is they really put people first. And a big part of our work is having user meetings to really focus on the teachers and how they are instructing and what their curriculum is. I think radically centered, student-centered design is focused on how to make the child succeed and being flexible in that need. So when we meet with teachers, we're trying to understand their curriculum, not to duplicate exactly how it's been done, but how we can improve the space to give them the things that they need in a better way. So it's more organized, to give them the flexibility when curriculum changes, when technology changes. They are not set in a standard. We can work with them on how to modularize things so that it can improve for the future.
I love that. I love that. Well, so what we always do is we want to kind of always tie that back to your work and kind of see how that mindset or that framework kind of applies to the work that you do. So you picked the question, how do you move the conversations from what adults want to what will best serve students in your work? I guess, yeah, is there any examples or things like that that you could kind of give us a little insight to on how you kind of move those conversations that way?
Yeah. One of my favorite clients, which I won't say what district it is, but she knows who she is. She said to me, children are smarter than we think they are. Teachers are so concerned about how they're going to act or what they're going to do. But if you give them the space and the agency to make their own decisions, you would be surprised. And I think I worked on a project and we condensed all the storage to one side of the room, so they would have that flexibility, and chose furniture that was different different heights, different sizes, and the teacher were like, "Well, we only have one of this. We only have one of this." It's like, yes, but that's also learning when they have to communicate, "Hey, I want this today," and then sharing that for tomorrow. So you're in the learning environment. It's not just the curriculum, it's how you interact with the like kids interacting with each other, and advocacy of sharing things and understanding your own needs. And I think that starts from very early on in the education.
Awesome. Awesome. So the last question we have then is thinking about radically student-centered and that framework that you're kind of talking about. How do you kind of see that changing over the next 5, 10, 15 years? How do you kind of see that framework changing?
I think we really just need to, as design professionals, educate our clients on why we are pushing this forward of student-centered, because, you know, you're teaching to educate students and help them be in the real world and solve real world problems. So that doesn't happen sitting and, staring and observing. That is you being interactive and being part of the conversation. So again, from especially early education, like teaching them, you know, how to be collaborative and how to work with others doesn't just have to be at gym. That happy, like that happens in art. That happens in, STEM. So just really like getting that message across when we are speaking with the educators. The built environment can help with those things, and it is part of your tool for educating.
Yeah. Do you think it's getting easier to have those conversations, the more success stories that you guys have with FGM?
Yeah, I think definitely working with clients that are open to that. And then also, like a lot of our clients want to speak to other districts that we've worked with, and that kind of eases that apprehension of the change.
Sure. Yeah. Well, you're a natural at this, so you sounded great. I don't think there's any editing necessary, but yeah, no, thank you for coming on the podcast. We're excited to have your voice as part of our Ed Market conversations this week. So thank you.
Okay, thank you. That was fun.
Thanks for joining us for this special EDspaces edition of the Better Learning Podcast. We hope today's conversation sparked new ideas and reminded you just how powerful student-centered learning environments can be. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to follow the podcast and share it with someone who's passionate about improving education. And as always, keep pushing forward, keep rethinking what's possible, and keep making learning better, one space at a time. We'll see you in the next episode.